All right. Been a hot minute since I've done this. I hope I'm doing it correctly. Hopefully things are getting recorded or the audio's coming through okay. Like I said, it's. Whoa! Whew! Got scared there for a second. Hello, Tina. Um, yeah. So I've kind of fallen off the face of the earth for about a year and a half, 2 years. Um, So I thought I'd come on, have it like I said, I haven't done this in a long time, so I hope I'm doing everything correctly. And of course, I'm getting a phone call right now. So I thought I would come online and do a update, I guess. Um, don't know if you can tell, we moved into a different apartment. It's it's been a good while. Literally the other apartment we were in, you go out that door and straight across the hall, and that's the apartment we used to be in. And they wanted to do updates, so we came over to this place and we got rid of the roommate that we had, the one who caught COVID twice, and so we're in here. A lot more fish tanks now over there. We got seven new tanks in this apartment. So this one is my 75 gallon that most people saw in some of my videos. That is Chase's tank, the 72 Beaufront. That one right there is a 40 breeder. That's my tank. That's got some barbs and puffers and whatnot in it. And then that is a 20 gallon long that's got shrimp and a bunch of nano fish. Behind this area over here is a 20 gallon tall. That is Chase's. In the bedroom, we have a 65 gallon, and then in a room over there, we have a 5 gallon that's Chase's. So there's been a lot of updating. So that's what's new in the apartment and furniture and stuff like that. So, yeah, where to start? Last I left off, I was going back to work. I don't think I did any live streams once I went back to work. I know I posted a video or two when I was at work. But work was really busy for a good portion there. We were short staffed, and so I was working a lot of 12-hour days, about 4 to 5 days out of the week. So coming home from work, I was exhausted, didn't want to come on or do anything. Days off, typically I was resting, relaxing, hanging out with Chase, prepping for, we didn't move quite then, but eventually prepping to move over here. Chase was really busy because with being a drag queen, things opened back up, and so he was going back and doing shows again. So a lot of times he was going up north on weekends and stuff like that. He is manager at his job now, pretty much fully running that store, and so he's busy with that. And he'll be on sometime. We've been talking lately about live streaming again. Him and I coming on and just shooting the shit or whatnot. Fish Tantina. Oh, okay. I'm catching up. So we do plan on possibly live streaming again, but I figured I'd come on and at least do some sort of update of what's been happening. Like I said, work was really, really busy, been going nonstop, and I love it there still. However, I am currently home on work comp. Back in August, I was coaching a student inside the wind tunnel, and they were kind of high up. And this is someone who I had been coaching for a while, a decent flyer. And he was up high, he pushed off the glass, rolled to his back, and I went to go catch him, and I wasn't quite fully under him yet that my right arm hyperextended and snapped the bicep tendon my joint here. So it was about 90% torn. It wasn't 100%, so I didn't have the Popeye arm that most people hear about tearing their distal bicep tendon. So I wasn't aware that I tore it, and I chose to go in the next day, and I was hurting. I went to go push on a door with my right arm, not thinking. I pushed on it, and I face planted it right into the door because it was just that weak. And there were certain things that I could do that I felt okay with. So I was like, I don't know if I can take a class because that'll be a lot of strain. So let me try to do high flights for someone and see how I feel doing high flights. And a high flight is basically I go and take a grip, and the wind speed gets turned up a little bit, and then I fly them up high and come down, and I control them. And that felt okay. But then when I landed and went to exit them and push their leg down, that hurt really bad. Hello, Demon Horn. Welcome. And I forgot to say hi, Dr. Nimrod. So I continued to do high flights, but I had the other instructor come in because it was a newer instructor, so I had to do the high flights for him, but I had him come in and take the personnel. So it wasn't working, so I took 2 days of light duty where I wasn't taking classes. And I kind of assumed that maybe I just strained a muscle or something like that, because I've done it before, and I thought, motion is lotion, I'm going to go continue working and see how it goes. It was obviously extremely painful. A lot of things that I was doing, I was grinning, gritting my teeth, everything else like that. It hurt, but I continued to work for about 3-4 weeks, and it started getting so bad. Like my fingers were getting numb. Just sitting, like even if I sit at the computer here long enough, if I'm using the mouse, my fingers start to go numb and my shoulder area gets really bad. So I finally decided to go in, and when I went in, they suspected that I had a tore, so they did the MRI, and yeah, they found out that blown out. I have a photo of it somewhere. I posted it on my Instagram, which if you want to follow me on Instagram, look up Skydiver Tanner. But I don't remember if I posted it in a story or in a reel or if I put it on my feed. I don't know what I did. But I have a picture from the MRI. You can I go through and then you can kind of see where it doesn't look good. So typically if you tear your distal bicep tendon, they want to do surgery within a month of tearing it. Well, I worked for a month, not knowing I tore it. But they still said because it wasn't like I had gone 6 months or something. They went ahead to decide to repair it, and being I want to go back to work, so I now have a scar on my arm from where they went in, and they drilled through the bone and anchored it in. I have an X-ray somewhere of that being anchored. So I've been going through physical therapy like that. What I didn't know, which is surprising, is your bicep does way more for your hand than you think it does. Like, the big thing I'm working on is rotation, right? And that's a lot is to do with your bicep. So like this hand I can put palm almost straight up. This one I still struggle with. It's still really hard for me to do. So I've been doing a lot of physical therapy for that. Your grip, obviously a lot has to do with your bicep, but so much of your bicep is more than just flexing. A lot has to do with your hand. And I like if you touch your bicep and then rotate your hand, you can feel your bicep flexing around, and it's kind of weird. I'm sorry you don't want to hear this. You had a rotator cuff injury from when you broke your wrist. Yeah. So that's the next thing. Hello, Pip. I was watching a short bit of your stream the other day, and you guys were gonna play a game, and I was gonna pop in and join, but I had some stuff to do, so I didn't get around to playing a game. I was gonna sneak in and try to figure out a name. I'm trying to think if I can remember back when what I said something. I can't remember if it was feet and toe jam, or if it was earwax or something. So I was gonna type that in and see if you got from it, but I couldn't remember either. So they did the surgery, they got it done, it went well. I was in a stint, been doing the PT for it, but the other thing too is I have a lot of shoulder issue where I still have like pain on my shoulder and stuff like that. So they did an MRI on it. They didn't see anything. We looked into doing an MRI. Well, we did do an MRI with contrast because for everything that goes on, they clinically they say it sounds like a tear in my labrum, but nothing showed up on the regular MRI or the MRA. Hello, Nickel07. Good to see you too. So I have a lot of clunking and clicking. Like if I go all the way out, when I get to a certain point, it clunks, and then at the top part it clicks, and it's worse when I warm up. So like when I was flying that month with torn tendon that I wasn't aware of, certain things that I do in the tunnel, my arm was clunking and clicking, and when I fly certain people in that high flight thing, like I was saying, it felt like my shoulder wanted to dislocate. So we've been looking into that a lot, and right now, they like I said, clinically they think it sounds like a labral tear, or when I was reaching out and my arm got pulled down, it pulled my shoulder out of the capsule, or the capsule tore with it, or something like that. I don't know exactly everything in the arm, and so that's another possibility. But I've been having really bad headaches and migraines. So since the injury, another reason why I kind of haven't been on much is because I'd say at least 3 times out of the week I end up with a really nasty migraine. And so the other thing they possibly think is reaching out when it pulled, the brachial plexus, a group of nerves that comes out of your neck or down to your arm, could have got overstretched and injured. And so that's another thing they're looking into that could be causing the headaches and the shoulder stiffness, and why maybe my arm is a little bit weak is because the nerves aren't firing well enough for the muscles. So I've been doing PT with the shoulder to get the rotator cuff going, but I think my shoulders are strong. For as much as I do there, I would find it really hard to believe that my muscles in my shoulder would be weak. There's tendons back here for the rotator cuff, and those were found a little bit of fraying on it, but not enough to where it needs surgery or where it cause issues. So there's been a lot going on. So that's what's been going on the last 6 months. I had the surgery October 5th, and I've been going through that. So the next step is I have my orthopedist, and then I have the surgeon. And I've been going to the surgeon with the arm stuff and the updates, and we kind of talked about the shoulder, and she's the one who ordered the MRI, and nothing on there, and she said currently she doesn't think there's anything she could do with the shoulder, but to go back to the orthopedist might look more into it to see if it is the brachial plexus injury, or if they want to do another test to look if like the capsule got pulled or stretched or something. And then possibly an MRI on the neck to look into see if they can see if something in the brachial plexus. And Dr. Nimrod, you're right. You know, the muscles do lose strength, but I was still able to use my shoulder. So the only thing that was really bad was the arm. I couldn't do flexing or rotating for a couple weeks after the surgery. But I still was able to do everything with my shoulder, and I know you lose some muscle or some strength, but I mean for all the stuff that I do inside the wind tunnel, I find it really hard to believe that I would lose it that quickly, and especially with when I was on furlough for 14 months and went back to work. You know, it was hard doing some of it at first because I hadn't done it for a while, but it wasn't to the point of where my shoulder kind of is now. And so that's why I still think it's kind of, I don't know if it's really the muscle as much as the nerves not firing or something like that. Yeah, I mean, broke your wrist in August. I guess it depends on how much you were doing. If you were keeping your arm more down, but I mean, I still was doing a lot with this arm. You know, most of it was keeping me from bending, but I was still grabbing things, and I like to kind of push the limits sometimes too, where there would be things that I would do purposely to kind of keep things um strengthened or whatnot. So that's kind of what's going on. So I might be able to live stream a little bit more because of that, and get Chase in here. I know like I said, I know he's been wanting to, or been mentioning, talking about live streaming again, and so we might try to plan some things. I don't know if I'm going to have a specific scheduled date. This was just a random pop up, do it last minute type deal because I've been putting it off for the past 2-3 weeks, thinking about wanting to do it. But I thought I'd give an update because, who was it? Trying to think of who it was on my Instagram. I have to go back and look. Told me that Tusk was wondering where I was, and so I thought I'd come back on and give people a little update. Hello, the Triggered Limey. Good to see you. Good to see some people. It's been a while. It's been a hot minute. Some other things some good news aside from like the work injury, and the new apartment and new furniture and stuff like that. I gave Chase my old car. I had a 2010 Prius. He had a Mazda that was falling apart, so I gave him that one, and I got an all-wheel drive Prius. So updated cars. This is how much I was working that I was able to buy some nice new stuff finally. Got a new car, and then we bought a Subaru Crosstrek for the winters up here, because with Chase traveling about 2.5-3 hours on the weekend, sometimes to do his drag shows, I wanted something a little bit reliable. Plus, I grew up driving manuals, and so I wanted a manual vehicle again. So at first, when we were looking at getting a third vehicle, I wanted something that was just fun, that was a manual drive, but then I was like, well, why get a third vehicle if you can't utilize it for something more? So we got the Subaru, and then we bought a rooftop tent for it, which is pretty cool. I'll have to gather up all these pictures so I can show pictures of everything. We've gone camping once with it. It was pretty nice, but me being 42 now, 41 when we went camping, my bladder doesn't hold up real well. So in the middle of the night, having to climb down a ladder to go pee isn't exactly fun, but otherwise it's really nice. We took the dogs. The dogs did great. They all slept with us up there. So it was kind of nice, and I turned my bike into a hybrid, so it's it's electric pedal, and then I bought Chase one so we can do longer bike rides, because there was one day where we went biking and we went really, really far, and we realized, like, oh man, we got to drive back, or we got to bike back, and we pooped out. So I turned my bike into a hybrid bike so that way we can do more things. Tusk, hello. Someone pointed me out to a video you did 2 weeks ago, and so you were talking about people and everything else like that, so it was another reason for me to think about coming back on and saying hello to everyone. So yeah, it's been busy with camping, biking. We got inflatable kayaks, so we can go out on the lakes and kayak, and I got photos of that I'll have to put on here so we can show everyone at some point. So it's just been go, go, go. It's been busy. And it's wild. It's a lot of things have changed. A lot of things have been going on. I haven't flown my drone in a good while, so I haven't put any drone videos up on my YouTube like I had been before. I haven't really built any new rockets just because things were busy. I should do that now, because now that I got so much home time, I've been sitting around all the day. What else? I'm trying to think of what else to update everyone with. Other than flight skills, work Work is weird. When I went back, we were short staffed, and we hired on 2 people eventually. No, 3 people, and 2 of them recently got let go, and another one is I think is going to be putting in their 2 weeks here. So with me out, they currently only have 2 instructors, or will only have 2 instructors there. Until I get back, then there'll be 3 instructors, which is not enough. And so it's going to be busy again, or it's going to be working a lot. But I think they're going to be closed Mondays and Tuesdays just because of staffing and because of not having enough people for up front. So at least I'd have Monday, Tuesdays, and so that would maybe be the days for Chase and I to stream, because he usually gets off a little bit earlier on those days. So we'll figure that out, and say hello to Et. So everyone knows, Discord. I pretty much don't go on there at all. I know I used to be on Discord all the time. I don't know. I just haven't had the want or need to go on Discord. Maybe every blue moon I might look on there. Alright, Trigger Limey. We'll talk to you later. Have a good day. So I haven't kept up with people on there. I haven't really kept up with anyone just because things have been so busy. That's no excuse for the last 5 months while I've been sitting at home doing nothing. But I will say that depression has kicked in a lot, because it's almost like going back into the pandemic again, coming home and sitting at home doing nothing. And then when I was after the surgery, basically couldn't do anything with this arm for about a month or 2. Other than sit here and watch TV, which I don't know if Triggered Limey already left, but I was huge into the Darrell Brooks case. So every blue moon, I'd pop over to Triggered Limey's channel. But no offense to you, I was more into at that point the channels that weren't doing commentary. So I watched strictly just the trial, and then sometimes afterwards I'd go to watch some commentary from YouTubers and stuff like that. But I got really big into that trial, and it pissed me off to high hell. And so I've been I got back into watching law channels, which I used to always love. Court TV back in the day, which I think is like True TV now or something like that. And I loved watching like Forensic Files and stuff like that. So I started getting into LawTube channels, which I find funny because I'd kind of been away from YouTube for a good long time, like really long time. And I didn't watch like any of the Flat Earther stuff, which, is what kind of got me into a lot of this group and started getting me into making my YouTube channel a little bit more, which is basically not a YouTube channel now. But I was watching a lot of that. So when I was watching a lot of Flat Earther stuff, and then now I'm back in, it's funny to see how many people that I remember or seen from the Flat Earther side now being in the LawTube side. The Law and Crime channel. I didn't really watch the Law and Crime channel for it very much. I went to like the Milwaukee local news network YouTube page to watch it. Because a lot of times they didn't have ads that would randomly play through it or something. I don't think Law and Crime did, but it something with Law and Crime. I didn't like that from there as much. So it's weird to go to some of these channels now, and then I hear them talking about channels from the past. Like I still go to the Plot Hole frequently. A lot of times I'll listen in on his live streams. I may not be in the chat or anything, but I'll listen in or something like that. Every so often I'll go in and talk in the chat section there. And that's he's usually playing like typically was playing when I got home from work. And then also just I'm more awake at nighttime. and so that's when he kind of airs. But like I hadn't seen or watched anything on Team Skeptic in a long time, and all of a sudden I hear him being talked about on channels that I've been watching and stuff like that. Which, speaking, I don't know, Demon Orb, if you're still here, I think I saw you in the comments of Raymond Ray's Repairs. I'm pretty sure I saw a comment from you in there. And so that I kind of laughed at that too, because I got caught up watching this channel, Raymond Ray's Repairs, because I got huge into working on my cars. I stopped going to the like Tires Plus place to get my oil changed. I found they weren't putting a crush washer on the drain plug, and so I was getting small leaks out of the 2010 Prius. And I started doing my own oil changes. As soon as I started doing that, no more oil leaks. And so I started to work on my own stuff, and so I was watching car repair channels and stuff like that, and I got caught up in this Raymond Ray Repair, and I've seen some names in there that I've recognized from before, and I kind of laugh, and so that was one channel that I watched a lot. But yeah, I got caught up in the Darryl Brooks thing, and then I started doing a lot of LawTube stuff, Law Talk with Mike. I'm sure many of you have heard that channel called Biggin. I watched that a lot, and yeah, Wife Unit, her new channel. I I subscribed to that, but I haven't watched too much. I haven't watched many of his videos recently. Once he got into his own place, I was watching it, but he was doing a lot of the more of like the setting up of his place, and then he was doing some car repair, but a lot of it was kind of not his typical content, and so I didn't watch it, and I haven't gotten back into it, but I was watching basically every day episode. I would put it on my phone and have it playing through the speakers in my car on my way to work, and that's how I'd listen to it. And half the time it was just to listen to what he has to say, because I love what he has to say. But otherwise, most of my time is spent working on these fish tanks and everything else like that. So yeah, so being home a lot. So I got caught up in a lot of LawTube stuff. That's what I was gonna say is with my time off doing that, doing the fish tanks. Basically, since I've been injured, I think the 40 breeder. I think we were doing that. That wasn't in August. That was at bedroom tank was August. I think I set that one up maybe in September. And then got injured, and then chased up his 20 tall. Then I set up that 20 long, and then we switched the bedroom tank from a 46 bow front to a 65. So most of my time has been spent on working on the tanks, and that's why you got this stuff down here. I got rock that I pulled out of there and put in different rock in that tank, and the difference in that tank from the videos I used to have, the plants are insane in there. The other day, I pulled out a lotus leaf, a tiger lotus leaf, which you can kind of see some right there. It's the red, and you can kind of see it right there. The leaf was bigger than my head, and if I go back and watch old videos on YouTube, man, my plants look crummy compared to how they look now. Let's see, let's catch up. Always watching him. Right, been listening, don't apologize, taking time out, relax his actual thing, but I'm off to the pub. Alright, we'll see you later, Tina. One other thing I'm going to look into is I'm trying to set up an appointment with a psychiatrist. Because I think I have ADHD. The more people I talk to, the more I kind of feel like that's the case. And some of the things, I know this is such a random stream. This is just a talk event. I've never been able to shut up my mind. Never. I do not understand people. I don't get how people can meditate. I've tried. I can't shut up my mind. I don't get how people can fall asleep right away. Chase does it. He can go to bed and he out, and I toss and turn for at least an hour or two. With THC being legalized in Minnesota now, well, to an extent, but like Delta 8, Delta 9, HHC, and stuff like that. I've been taking some of that to help me try to fall asleep. Even bought a melatonin vape to try to fall asleep, but I can never shut my mind up. My head is at the point where I can sit here and I can think about like how I need to clean the fish tanks, and it'll go from like, I need to clean the fish tank, which means I gotta pull up the siphon hose, but when I pull up the siphon hose, oh, how do people come up with PVC tubing? Like, how is it made? You know, how do they get it to be hollowed out and stuff like that? And then thinking about like the factory and like, oh, there's people who like are in these factories in OSHA. How does OSHA come about? What brought in OSHA, and what standards are when OSHA needs to step in place, and how do you get a job there? How do people become an OSHA person, and what do they do that? And how do people apply for these jobs? And, you know, like then thinking about other jobs, my head goes so many places that I start off with thinking about cleaning a fish tank, and I'll end up thinking about like how people came up with stuffing. You know, like, hey, we have some dried out crusted bread. Let's shove it in a turkey's ass, put it in the oven, and yum. You know, and so it's one of that. I start a project, and then I end up with 10 other projects started from only starting that one project. So I need to dust the living room. Okay, I start dusting the living room, and I see something, and I'm like, oh, this needs to get put away. And then I go to put it away, and when I'm in that area, I see other things that need to get fixed. So then I start cleaning up that area a little bit, and then I end up finding something else there. And so I can never finish a project. I get really hyper focused into things. Like I was into rockets for a long time, hardcore, boom, stop. Then I'm into computers, hardcore, boom, stop. And it's like I can never just be on one thing. The only thing that I can do is my fish tanks. Yeah. So the other thing too is I always claimed I had restless limb syndrome. I self-diagnosed myself with that many years ago. But maybe it's the adult ADHD thing. So that, and then what was the other thing too? There are certain things I have OCDs on. Self-diagnosed OCD. Like when I fold my clothes, they have to be done a certain way. When I put things away, they have to be put away a specific way. When I'm out of the shower and I go to towel dry myself, I have to do it in a certain order. I have to do my heads and my arms or whatever else. It has to be done in a certain order. So I'm going to look into that. And thinking about this stream right now, I'm probably like looking back at it and be like, I went from topic to topic and bounced all over the place. That probably in itself proves a possible ADHD thing. See, you can and do just completely zone out while doing anything. Your brain just goes bzz, then nothing. And I wish I could do that. You know, there's times where like I space out, but usually my head's still going. Like if I space out, it's because I'm still thinking of something. And I've tried going to bed where, you know, like close my eyes and in my head be like, don't think. This pillow's cold. Don't think. Okay, now it's getting hot. Don't think. I forgot to do this. Don't think. And it's like, as I'm telling myself to don't think, I'm thinking about things behind the thought of me not thinking. So, yeah, there's that. Doggos are doing okay, which I heard him grumbling. Noki's over there, snoozing on the couch. Poor Bailey, the min pin. He's getting more blind, more deaf. So he gets up and he walks around, and if he were to get up and start walking around, you'd see him run into the TV stand, then he'd go wander and run into something else, and he's still cute as hell, but He's running into things, and usually you gotta shout at him to get his attention. Um, Hello, Carl Edwards. Yes, it has been a long time, but they're still doing pretty good. I think they like this new place a little bit better, just because it's just Chase and I, and not a third person in here. They're pretty grumpy lately because being I'm home so much. They think they gotta protect me, so almost every little noise they start barking towards. Which I'm surprised they haven't barked very much during the stream, but usually they're screaming their heads off. And then, like, if I even go to just get the mail and I come back, they act like I've been gone forever just because I'm home so much. But they're doing well. Trying to think of what other updates I could say. I'm sure there's a lot of things that I'm forgetting or missing out on. I don't know, but I thought I'd do a little catch up and say hello. We'll get Chase on here at some point. Like I said, he wants to come back on. We're trying to think of things that maybe we'd want to talk about or do, or if we're gonna just shoot the shit with people. Who knows? Maybe we'll have Amber Atkins Knight and Leslie Filler come back and see if they want to chat. Did you know I was talking about you? Yeah. He's a mess maker. And I don't know if you can see his eyes, but they're so clouded up, and that kind of shows that he has a hard time seeing. And he hacks a lot too. Poor little guy. What you done? What else though? I don't know what else to say. I thought I'd come on, say hello to everyone, give you a little catch up on what's been happening and what's new. Hopefully I can kind of make this a regular thing again. I hope the audio sounds okay. I haven't done this in so long, and before I came on, I had to do a lot of updates on things in here to figure out how to do it. And so I hope the audio's alright. I think I still have some of my other stuff, so let's see. We got full live where you can see me all blown up really big. Back when Chase played Minecraft. He played Final Fantasy, which now his new thing that he's into is, damn it, I can't think of it now. It's a game a lot of people play, but it's a character he goes around and uses some magic on. It's not Dark Souls. I think that's the one he doesn't play anymore. God, I wish I could remember what it is. He likes to play that one a lot. I don't think it's Dark Souls. I ask you, Alexa. Alright. I don't know why she randomly went off. Maybe it is Dark Souls. Oh, Elden Ring. That's what it is. He plays Elden Ring a lot. And I don't know. I gotta find either really long HDMI cable in order for it to plug into. Yeah, exactly. It's that game. To plug into the computer if I want to stream him playing again. Otherwise, I gotta try to convince him to find a controller to be able to plug into the computer so he can game from the computer here. Because I think you can do that, right? You can do a lot of games that you can get on PlayStation. I think you can get it on PC and then play it on PC with that controller, right? So I have, from when I originally started streaming to now, I have an updated computer. So the computer that I had before is now his in our creative room. We call it, it's the second bedroom, but it's a creative room. It's where all my rockets are and all his drag stuff is. And I'm trying to get him to work on, to utilize the computer more. Like a lot of times he'll be working on drag stuff in there, and he'll be on YouTube on his phone. And I'm like, you got a computer right there with like good speakers and big monitor rather than listening on your phone. He's like, oh, I always forget. So I'm gonna try to get them. All games are rubbish and complete waste of time. Yes, I started to play Spyro the Dragon again. because that was like the only one game I was good at. And I got it for PlayStation 4, and I don't know why, but it feels like it's harder to play on PlayStation 4 than it was on regular PlayStation, and I don't know if that's because it's remastered and if they do something, um, uh, changed it in some way, but I found it more difficult, especially like some of the flying worlds where you have to fly and like you get the lanterns, you fly through the rings, and then you blow up little barrels on the train or something like that. I found it extremely difficult. And I don't know Path of Exile or The Crew 2. I know nothing on games. Chase knows all that stuff. Standing there lost. He doesn't know what's going on. Bailey. A lot of times you can ask him Bailey and he'll look at a whole different area and space out. Games get harder as you get older. Yeah. And coordination gets harder as you get older too. So yeah, that's what he's into. So I don't know if we can try to figure out how to get it set up on here so he can be playing as we stream, like kind of like how we did way back in the beginning. But I gotta go through OBS here and figure out again how I can get like photos on here and videos and stuff like that, so you guys can see, so I can share with you guys, some of the stuff that we've been doing as far as the kayaking, the biking, the camping, some flying stuff. My flying skills, some things got quite a bit better after going back, but we were so busy that for a while there wasn't much time for working on flying skills. And then there was an area where it was open, but with some of the newer employees during training time, I was mostly helping train people on how to do things versus working on my own flying skills. So I'm hoping once I'm healed, there'll be some more time to go in and fly. And I need to push myself. I need to just do that. I'm chicken shit. I know I'm a skydiver, but I'm very chicken shit. I'm don't like pushing boundaries and stuff, and sometimes you just have to do that. And inside the wind tunnel, you're more likely to get injured than in the sky because 12 feet to mess up versus an entire sky, and so I always get scared about plowing into the glass. But I just gotta push myself and get better, do better, and then that way, with only 3 instructors being there, well, once I go back, only 3 instructors. I need to get my skill level up so we have more people who are able to teach more of those higher skills. So, yeah, there's that. I'm fidgety, playing with the rubber band. I think I'm going to leave it at that for now. This is kind of just a random pop-up to let everyone know I'm still alive, I'm still kicking. There's some people I need to reach out to and talk with and say hello to who I haven't in a very, very long time. I don't know how quickly I'll do that, but I'm going to try my best. Sitting around here, being straightforward, the depression kicks in, and I'm like, oh, I should do this, but I don't have the will or drive or want to do it. And then I don't do it, and so then I get more depressed because I didn't do the thing I said I wanted to do. And then I get more depressed because I'm depressed about being oppressed. So sitting around isn't fun. I want to be back at work, but at the same time I'm not ready to be sore and busy all the time. So yeah, I see about the Halo jump at night. Nothing's gonna get better until you do it. So I just got to do, and there's a lot of projects I still have to do around the house here. If you could see my desk, it's a pigsty, and it's one of those where, like I said, with being home, it doesn't help because then I look at the mess and then I get depressed because I'm like, wow, I got a lot to do. And because of what I'm thinking is ADHD, if I start at one, I end up starting the whole thing. And so then I don't accomplish what I set out to do. And I need to be able to just laser focus on something and do it. But this desk is a mess. Back in that corner, we got, so there's a new shoe rack and stuff like that. And there's still the old stuff over in that area. And the new shoe rack is right there in front of a closet. And we got to throw out all that stuff and move the new one over, and it'll give us more space. And it's just been putting it off and being lazy, and then that kicks into like the I didn't get anything done type deal. So, just talking to you guys actually, like coming on and actually saying, "Hey, I'm going to live stream," is making me already feel better. One, talking it out. Two, like I feel like I've accomplished something that I've been wanting to do for a while now. I've been wanting to come back on, say hello to everyone. Like, hello, Mark Short, welcome. So we'll see. But this desk, this whole area is a nightmare, and I gotta just throw out a lot of stuff. And it's like I look at it and I'm like, I don't even know where to begin because I have work comp papers and stuff over here, and I need to file it, and I have cords and cables over here. I have CPU box that I need to go put away, which I don't know why I'm holding on to it. I should just throw it away. There's no point in me saving it. There's a lot of stuff that I have saved that I don't know why I save it. I mean, I'm not like I'm a hoarder when it comes to certain things, but as you can see in my apartment, I'm not a hoarder. Like, when it comes to certain boxes and stuff like that, I can't get myself to throw them away, and I don't know why. When it comes to like computer stuff boxes, my drone boxes, like there's no use for the box. There's nothing. Like, throw it out. Stuff like that. So maybe I'll get some stuff done today. But anyways, I'd like to thank everyone for coming by. It was, like I said, it was nice to kind of come on and see everyone again. I don't know how to let people know when I might live stream. I guess if I'm going to live stream, I'll try to schedule it like I used to in the past, so that way people can at least see, hey, Tanner's got a stream coming up, on Monday or something like that. Because, like I said, I don't really use Discord anymore. I have it on my phone, I have it on the computer and stuff like that, but I don't really go into it. Like I said, I don't know why. I don't know why I don't do Discord much. I don't know if it's because it's overwhelming. And especially being gone for a while, I feel like if I go in and say hello, it's also going to just be... Not that I'm saying like, oh my god, everyone was huge into me or anything like that, but it's I haven't talked with people for a while, so I'm sure people have questions or whatnot. I don't know. The swordsman stuff, I don't know what's... I know they've posted some things. I know that they've done some streams. It's not one of those where I've like completely avoid the swordsman type deal. I think maybe some of the reason why I've stayed away is because I've been busy and I didn't want to give a false hope of like, hey, I'm going to be around to be able to do stuff. And then there was times where like I'd be like, hey, I'll be available for this, but then I wouldn't be able to because either work went a little bit longer, or they had to reschedule stuff like that. And so it's not that I dislike those guys. I like them. I just haven't been around. I know Little Wolf has reached out to me. I got to respond back to Little Wolf. I've been a little bit of a recluse. How do you say it? Recluse? Someone who's been kind of by themselves, and so I haven't responded back, and I need to say hello. I think sometimes too I haven't started up conversations because then I feel bad if I can only talk for like 5 minutes and then I go somewhere else and it's like something that should have been like an hour-long conversation to really catch up. And so then sometimes I don't respond because I'm like, I'm not going to be able to talk for long anyway, so why start a conversation? So that's it. I keep playing with everything. Same with boxes and cables. Yeah, cables. cables. I have so many damn like USB cables. It's not even funny. I have micro USB, USB-C. I think it's USB-B. Those ones that are like, I don't know how. Here, let me see. These ones, that funky end. Like, I have so many USB cables. Like, I have a drawer full of them, and I don't know why. I don't know why I have so many I need to throw. Yeah. Recluse, not recluse or recluse. What was that one thing? Let's see it. Let me type it out. And you'll say it in your head two different ways. There, I typed it in. And you're gonna read it two different ways. And it's funny. English is weird. They've become useful, but when I have 20 of them, I'm never gonna need 20. USB-C, that's a whole different thing. USB-C is one where I'll keep them, but like I have some USB-Cs that are like 5 inches in length, and I'm like, why? Like this cable, like micro USB. I mean, I was using it on my computer, so I guess there is a use for it. But those I don't. Those lengths to me are pointless. Data. The data from the data is in. It's the cute variety. It's so cute. So yeah, maybe that's where I need to start. Is I need to start with the boxes and just say no, it needs to go, and just throw it and get rid of it. Like I'm looking at this little thing over here and what I all got here. I mean, some of the stuff I have on the stuff over here, it's like it sucks because it's important stuff, but I just don't have a place for it. So then it ends up just being a pile of stuff. So the short cables are useful for when you want to stand on something expensive. What do you mean? So like when you use this to stand on something? Fill the box with cables and toss it out. You'll feel better. Yeah, but I want to get what the standing on something. Because I mean, if I stand on this, what am I completely missing something? Yeah. I mean, one of my friends is so short that if he stood on this, he'd probably feel like a giant. Okay, buddy. But yeah, just get going with it. Just dump it out. Like let's see. I have over here. It's a boxed one of my vaping RTAs. Why do I still have this box on my desk? Why? There's stuff in it. I mean, there's spare parts in it, and I could move the spare parts into another area. But I mean, I haven't needed to use any of these spare parts in the 2-3 years that I've had this vape thing. So I mean, why? Why do I still have it? Chris Durham, welcome. Yes, I am still live, but I was about to maybe wrap it up. That plugs everything into an extension cable and leaves vapes and like right where my feet are. Yeah. well, we got that. We got underneath the couch, we have a USB port where everything plugs into. So like the USB cable for the PS4 controller, then the cables for our phone. But usually I tuck them underneath the couch when we're not using them, and then we pull them out when we need to use it. Which I gotta go back and Chris, I looked at some of your music around Christmas time. I think it was your Christmas music with Going Crazy or something like that. I watched that and that was great. And Chase was like, "Oh my god, this is awesome." And then Chase asked me to put more videos of yours on to listen to while he was doing some stuff. So every so often we'll throw on your channel and just have the music playing in the background, and it makes us happy. So, and I almost thought about pulling out my baritone, because about 2 years ago I said I had a project that maybe we should do together, and I was going to pull out my baritone and I was going to practice it to try to get good again. And I wanted to do it where it was around Christmas time, and I was going to play a Christmas song, and then I would send the video to you, and then you could play piano to me playing the baritone, and then mix the two videos together so it would look like we did a duet with one another. That's what my idea was, but I almost thought about pulling out my baritone again and starting to play that. I haven't played it in 20 years more. So I don't know what made me decide to want to play it again, but it's like, yay, there's another thing that I'm thinking about bringing back into the apartment that I don't need to. Like a euphonium, right? I think that's what other people call them. But it's hard for me to find music that's in bass clef, because I only know bass clef, and a lot of euphonium baritone music is in, I feel like it's in treble clef. At least euphonium I think is in treble clef. And I don't know treble at all. But I'll have to go look to see the video of the stuff you made for Tusk. But the mini tuba, yeah. You know, it's you hold it and think of it like it's almost like a richer sounding trombone, and smaller than a tuba, yeah. So it's I started with trombone, and it's okay, but I liked fingering things better. Diggity. But yeah, it's got a richer sound than a trombone. At least to me, it sounds richer and fuller than what a trombone would sound like. But it's basically kind of the same exact instrument, just laid out differently and with keys. So, anyways, I'm going to leave it at that before I get myself way too overwhelmed and excited, and I will talk with Chase and let's try. I'm gonna try to set something up. Trumpet's much higher pitched than a trombone, and the mouthpiece is much smaller. But yeah, I'm gonna talk with Chase. I'm gonna see if we can get something scheduled. I'm thinking right now Mondays would be their best bet. He's usually home by 3:30 local time to me, which, so everyone's aware, if depending on where you're at right now, it's 1:46 p.m. my time. So about 2 hours from now is about when I was thinking that Chase and I could start live streaming on Mondays. So I'm hoping we can do that, and then it would probably be an hour long, hour or two, depending on how we're feeling and whatnot. So I'll keep you guys posted. I don't know where I'll let anyone know. I'll try to schedule it, like I said, on YouTube, so that way at least it's up there for maybe a few days so people know that it's going. But otherwise, hopefully you guys get the notification when it goes live like it did today. But I'm gonna do my outro, you would miss it. Well, at least you'd be able to watch it on the replay, right? Yeah, Central Time Zone is what I'm at. So, and then we have daylight savings coming up, in 2 weeks? Which that's spring ahead. So it would technically be 2:47 in about 2 weeks at this time. So it'd be about an hour or a little bit later than right now, because I think the U.S. only does. Is the U.S. the only one who does daylight savings? I'm not sure. But anyways, I'm gonna play the outro, and I can talk over it a little bit. Let's find the outro. There it goes. Putting up the outro. Thanks, guys. Alright, there you go. Thank you guys for coming by. It was nice to catch up with everyone. Yeah, hopefully I start to make this a more regular thing. And if there's anything exciting or anything that changes, maybe I'll just kind of come on, even if it's just for 20 minutes or something like that. I'll try to find out how. I mean, I know how to get photos and videos on here, but I need to find a quicker, easier way to be able to share. Easier way to share photos and videos on here, and then that way I can show you guys some of the stuff that's been going on, whether it be training in the tunnel or our camping or biking or kayaking or whatever it is. We've been making some new meals, so maybe we'll share some meals that we've been doing. Has been a long time. Like I said, I think it's got to be about getting close to 2 years since I've last live streamed. I know it's been for sure a year and a half since I've actually posted a video. Custom meals are very complicated, but they're not complicated. They look good. Mine are very. The meals I make are very not good for you. more like comfort meals. I've gained 35 pounds since my work accident. So from middle of September until now, I've gained 35 pounds. And it doesn't help sitting around at home all the time. That's another reason why I need to do that. Alright, guys. We'll talk to you later. Have a good day.